أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واتبعوا ما تتلو الشياطين على ملك سليمان وما كفر سليمان ولكن الشياطين كفروا يعلمون الناس السحر وما أنزل على الملكين ببابل هاروت وماروت وما يعلمان من أحد حتى يقولا إنما نحن فتنة فلا تكفر فيتعلمون منهما ما يفرقون به بين المرء وزوجه وما هم بضارين به من أحد إلا بإذن الله ويتعلمون ما يضرهم ولا ينفعهم ولقد علموا لمن اشتراه ما له في الآخرة من خلاق ولبئس ما شروا به أنفسهم لو كانوا يعلمون ولو أنهم آمنوا واتقوا لمثوبة من عند الله خير لو كانوا يعلمون صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu says, وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ. They followed what the Satans would recite in the reign of Sulaiman, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him. وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا. Sulaiman, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him, did not reject the faith. He did not disbelieve. He did not commit the infidelity. وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ, but the Satans, kafaru, disbelieved, rejected the faith, committed the infidelity. يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ. So this is accusative of sentence which shows the cause. What is the cause of their infidelity? Because they were teaching the people the magic. The teaching of the magic to the people was a cause of their infidelity. وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ. And they followed what was revealed in Babylon unto angels with the name of Harut and Marut. وَمَا يُعَلِّمَانِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ. And they would not teach anyone حَتَّى يَقُولَا, unless they would say, إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ فِتْنَةٌ فَلَا تَكْفُرْ. We are only a trial, only an examination, only an ordeal. فَلَا تَكْفُرْ. So don't commit the infidelity, don't disbelieve, don't reject the faith. فَيَتَعَلَّمُونَ مِنْهُمَا مَا يُفَرِّقُونَ بِهِ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَزَوْجِهِ. So they would learn from them wherewith they were separating, they were causing the separation between a husband and wife. they were learning from those angels wherewith they would cause the separation between the lawful husband and wife. وَمَا هُمْ بِضَارِّينَ بِهِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ, and they were not in position to cause any harm with it to anyone. They were not in position to cause a detriment or a harm to anyone illa bi-iznillah, but with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَتَعَلَّمُونَ مَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُم. So they would learn what would harm them and would not benefit them. Means all of the practices concerning with the magic were detrimental for them and not beneficial for them. Their recitation, their learnings, their practices, their involvement in the magic was detrimental and not beneficial for them. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمُوا لَمَنِ اشْتَرَاهُ مَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. And they knew it very well that whoever purchases it, means sells his life and buys the magic, means he devotes and sacrifices his life for the learning of the magic. مَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. There is no share for him in the hereafter. وَلَبِئْسَ مَا شَرَوْا بِهِ أَنفُسَهُمْ. And what a bad thing this is for which they have sold their lives. لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ. If only they had known. If had but known. وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ آمَنُوا وَاتَّقَوْا لَمَثُوبَةٌ مِّنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ. And if they had believed in Allah and His apostle and Islamic necessities, وَاتَّقَوْا, and would have been afraid of Allah, God-fearing, لَمَثُوبَةٌ مِّنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ. So verily the reward for them with Allah would have been much better. لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ. If only they had known. This is the verbal translation of the passage I recited before you. Here Quran makes a complaint against them, that whenever they made a covenant with us, they neglected it, they breached the contract, and their contractual conditions were always violated by them, and they put the book behind themselves. When they neglected the contents of the book, which was revealed to them through their own prophet, and on the other side, وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ, they neglected the book and followed the recitation of the Satans. So look, the degradation, the degeneration of the people when a community is about to suffer the degeneration or degradation or inclination, they neglect the contents of the revelation of Allah to the prophets, and they follow the teachings of Satan. So this type of deviation was quite obvious, self-evident. There was no need of any argumentation to substantiate that they were misled. They were obviously misled because they neglected the contents of the book revealed to Moses, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him, and they followed the teachings of the Satans. The teaching of the Satans, according to the teachings of all of the prophets, were totally misleading, deviating, but yet they were devotee to the teachings of the Satans, and they were fed up with the teachings of the prophets. They did not need any learning, any obedience to the books of celestial books revealed to their prophets, and they followed the teachings and formulas formulated by the Satans. Ala mulk Sulaiman. So this attribution to the reign of Moses. This attribution to the kingdom and the reign of Suleiman was totally wrong, and this claim was made by the people of the book. Here, Bible, the king number 1, explains the personal situation of Suleiman alayhi salatu wasalam. Suleiman, according to their record, and he had 700 wives, princess, and 300 concubines. According to their record, Hazrat Suleiman alayhi salatu wasalam had 700 wives. So this is totally wrong and not authenticated. And 300 concubines and 300 wives were without any relation of proper marriage. And his wives turned away his heart, and his wives turned his heart away, means he were converted to the non-religion and giving up the celestial religion. According to the persuasion of his wives, he was misled, according to their record. For it came to pass when Suleiman was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods. Means not only he was misled in the morals, behaviors, characters, but according to the ideology, he was turned to the bogus and fabricated gods. It means that he became pagans according to the record of the Bible. So according to our record, Suleiman was prophet of Allah and son of a prophet whose name was David. But here they say that, and Suleiman did evil in the sight of the Lord, means he did the bad things which were highly culpable in the eye of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and went not fully after the Lord, and he did not follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to the record of the Bible. Bible, King number 1 and chapter number 11 and verse number from 1 to 9. All of the things which were totally against the prophethood, against the proper guidance, against the mission of the total prophets were attributed to Suleiman, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him. And the Satans would thieve the secrecy from the sky. This is called istirakus sama. Istirakus sama means, is it possible for the Satans, for the jinn to go above the sky and thieve the secrets from the angels who are detailed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on certain jobs and certain areas for certain purposes. So this is called istirakus sama. When they would come to know about the secrecies which were going to happen in the world, they would come down and would teach the contents of their information to the Kahins, to the diviners, soothsayers, and the person who were making the predictions about the future. So thus they wanted to make the magicians confirmed by the then society. So they would teach the people, they would tell the people that Suleiman had controlled and enslaved all of the earth and all of the birds and jinns and human beings, and even the air, everything was possessed by him by means of the magics. So this was their claim, and for this purpose they would teach the magic to the people, and they were very greedy to learn the teachings of the Satan, and they would neglect the teachings of Suleiman, David, and the teachings of the Old Testament. Everything was neglected by them, and they followed the teachings of the Satan, because they would be made understand that all of the powers of Solomon were directly concerning with the magic. Therefore they became very greedy to learn it. Quran says, the people who were the people of the book, they neglected the book and set this book aside, and they began to follow the teachings of Satan, and they were believing themselves and assuring the other people that these teachings and this education was a cause of dominion of Solomon, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him. But Allah says, Allah negates the practice of Solomon claimed by them. Quran says, وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانَ. Since the exercise of magic was infidelity according to the Quran, therefore Quran says, مَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانَ. This was infidelity which was not committed by Sulaiman. Solomon was my prophet, and I energized him, and I enslaved all of the birds, all of the jinns, and the other surface of the total earth was under the control of Solomon. And this was not on account of the magic, but this was on account of my blessings, on account of my benevolence. This was Fazl Ilahi. It was on account of my benevolence, my generosity. Quran says, مَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانَ. Here Quran says that the exercise of magic is infidelity. وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا. But the Satan would commit the infidelity. This was the job attempted by the Satans who were already infidels, and this was infidelity which was according to them permissible for them, because they were already infidels. They took it a permissible matter. But Quran says, whosoever exercises the magic, whether he is Jews or Christian or non-Muslims or somebody else, anyone who exercises the magic, he is not Muslim, he is infidel. Here Imam Mawardi, Abu Mansur Maturidi, the dialectical theologian of the Hanfiyite people are believing in him as a leader of their dialectical theology, Ilm Aqidah. He is Imam, he is leader of dialectical theology. He says that every type of magic is not infidelity, but that magic would be infidelity which contains the words of infidelity, means refusal of the Islamic necessities. When there are certain words which directly or indirectly involves the infidelity, they implies the rejection of Islamic necessities. They are just to reject and just to refuse the Islamic necessities, Islamic contents. If a magic contains such a material, he is surely, of course, without any doubt, that is infidelity, and any person exercises such a magic is infidel. But as far as the other type of magic is concerned, the lawyers of Islam, the juristical scholars of Islam, they are of the opinion that even if there is no contents and the subject of that magic, they are not infidelity, but they are detrimental. They are causing the detriments, they are causing the harm, bodily harm, or financially harm, or the reputation harm. So they would be dealt with just like robbers, means their hand from the right side and leg from the left side would be cut off. This is a punishment which is called preventive punishment. In Sidadi Nazariya Saza, means preventive ideology of punishment. Means the person who is committing such a crime should be disabled so that he may not be able to commit the same crime again and again. He should be disabled so that everybody knows that this person has been committing such type of crimes. Therefore, he was given a preventive punishment. And in addition to that, this is a deterrent punishment as well. Deterrent punishment means the punishment which is with the nature that if anybody comes across that punished person, he should take the advice. He should learn the lesson. For instance, if a person is living here and there with the right hand and leg of left side cut off, so everybody who comes to know, he would ask why his limbs were amputated. So everybody would say that he had been committing such a crime, therefore his limbs and organs were amputated. So all of the other people who are trying to commit the crime of the same nature would automatically be controlled. So this type of punishment can be defined as the deterrent punishment. So this type of punishment which was suggested for a magician is deterrent punishment as well and preventive punishment as well. But there is a question. If there is a non-Muslim and he is exercising the magic in Islamic State, what was the verdict about that person? Imam Abu Bakr Jassas says that such a person is also liable to be punished. If the words of the infidelity are there, or if he tries to harm the physical body or the finance or the reputation, he would be punished. Why? Here he says that since the commission of his crime is just to posing the similarity of the Prophet, he is trying indirectly to equalize himself with the Prophet, as the miracles of the Prophets are just superhuman, supernatural and extraordinary, and with his magics he tries to equalize himself. He tries himself to look like the Prophets. So trying to look like the Prophet and try to equalize oneself with the Prophet by means of similarity, so this is also infidelity. If a person tries to equalize himself by means of similarity with the Prophet, ana mislukum, Nabi Kareem misluna, so such a words are highly culpable action. Here Imam Abu Bakr Jassas says, if an infidel is living in the Islamic State as a tributary, so he is already known as an infidel, he should not be punished for infidelity because he is already known as a non-Muslim. Here Imam Abu Bakr says that he would also be liable to be punished because he is trying by means of similarity to equalize himself to the Prophet, because the miracles of the Prophet and the miracle by means of magic superficially are look to be similar to each other. So this practice is also infidelity. If a non-Muslim cannot be afforded because he is trying to equalize himself by means of similarity. If a Muslim recites Kalma Sharif and he tries to equalize himself by means of similarity, what is the verdict of Muslim scholars about him? So this type of flexibility and relaxation is really very curious. One cannot believe that such a verdict is lawful. When a non-Muslim is not pardoned, when he is already known as a non-Muslim, when he tries to equalize himself by means of similarity, so the Muslim is worthier with the stronger reasons to be punished for this practice. When a non-Muslim is not exempted from the liability, a Muslim is really worthier with the stronger reason to the liability of the punishment. Here, the abnormalities, superhumanities, and supernaturals are 6 types. One is the irhas, when a prophet is born in childhood and in adolescence and prime of youth, because the promulgation and proclamation of the prophethood, whatever appears from him, abnormal, superhuman, that type of superhuman are called irhas. Irhas means to lay the foundation, to put the foundation. So that is a foundation for the prophethood of a prophet. Just like Nabi Karim was born and the angels came down to circumambulate around the room of Muhammad Rasulullah, and the stars also came down to illuminate all of the areas, and the other angels came to visit Muhammad Rasulullah, and in addition to that, Kaaba bent down towards the birthplace of Muhammad Rasulullah, and all of the idols fell down on their faces as prawn. P-R-O-N-E, prawn, means on the face, on the faces, and many other things were also seen. There was a crevice in the palace of King of Persia, and there was illumination in the palaces of Roman Empire in Syria. So such a things were seen. So they are termed as irhas, because these were the foundations for the proclamation of Muhammad Rasulullah for prophethood. When he proclaimed that he was a prophet, Hazrat Abbas radiallahu anhu was reported to have said, Hazrat Imam Qazi Sana'ullah Panipati writes in his book Allahu Nurus Samawati wal Ard, under this verse, that Abbas radiallahu anhu, his uncle of the Holy Prophet, was reported to have said, أول ما دعاني إلى الدخول في الإسلام أنك كنت في الماضي كنت تناغي القمر. He says the first invitation was made to me and invite me and persuade me to embrace Islam was when you were in the cradle and you were talking to the moon and you were indicating with your finger, and the moon was dancing according to the indication of your indications. It means that the calendar of the total universe was suspended just for the meeting of, for the execution of the order of the finger of the Muhammad Rasulullah, and moon, which was a responsible item of the universe to make the calendar about the dates. The lunar system is always depends on the movement of the moon. So moon was busy with the obedience of Muhammad Rasulullah, and this was the time when Nabi Karim was not talking to the people, but he was talking to the moon. Hazrat Abbas radiallahu anhu says, being your uncle, I was present at the place, at the occasion, and I saw the dance of the moon according to the finger, according to your finger. So this was the first thing which persuaded me to embrace Islam. It means that the first invitation toward any religion is the evidences made by any prophet before the proclamation of the prophethood. Similarly, when Sadiya Halima was nursing Muhammad Rasulullah and he was being brought up by her in Taif, he says that whenever we were in a need of finding anything in the darkness in our house, so we would take Muhammad Rasulullah to that corner of our house, and the face of Muhammad Rasulullah would illuminate the dark corners, and we would find anything we needed at that time. So such things are called irhas. And if a person refuses the Miladun Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the irhas, the miracles before the proclamation for the prophethood, so it means that he is refusing the foundation stone of the prophethood of Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. His duty is to believe in the foundation stone of the prophethood. May grace and peace of Allah be upon him. And the second one is miracle, when a prophet proclaims, announces his prophethood, and the people challenge him his prophethood, then he shows the miracles, the abnormals, the superhumans, and he challenges the people to bring any piece of thing equivalent to that of the prophet. When the people cannot do it, so they have to believe in the prophethood of the prophet. That is called miracles. And then kiramat, just like Hazrat Syed Abdul Qadir Jilani, Mabu Subhani Qutb Rabbani, Sayyah ila Makani, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, was reported to have revived the dead bodies drowned in the river of Tigris. So this is a kirama, or just like the slaughtered cow of a pious people from Israelites in the reign of Moses, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him. The cut tail of that cow was hit on the body of that dead body, and that dead body was revived. So this type of miracle is termed as kirama in Islam. And maunat means to any abnormal shown by a person who is just a common man, just like one feels a headache and other person heals his headache and his headache is removed from his head. So this is called a maunat. And the fifth thing is istidraj, means showing the abnormalities are superhuman by means of the magic. These are shown by means of using or exercising the magic. This is called magic, and result is called istidraj. And the sixth one is ihanat, when a person shows anything by means of the claiming the prophethood. But this is a principle that whosoever is impostor and he claims that he is a prophet, if he is challenged for any abnormality, when he tries to do something, the decision of Allah goes against him. Just like a person blind by one eye was brought to Musailamah al-Kazzab, and he was asked to revive his dead eyes. So he was blind because they showed him that Jesus Christ was a prophet of Allah, and he would revive the eyes and would restore the eyesight to the blind by birth. And at least you should revive and restore the eyesight to one eye at least. But when he healed the eyes, even this second eye, which was quite normal, that was also blinded. So this is called ihanat. So there is a question whether a magician can show the abnormalities in front of the prophet. So all of the dialectical theologians are of the opinion that even if a person claims that divinity, just like Dajjal, he would claim for the divinity that he is a god, even then he would be able to show the miracles, just like causing the rain to rain and reviving the dead bodies. So such a things would be shown by Dajjal, even if he is a bogus claimant of the divinity. He is claiming, he would be claiming bogusly that he is a god. Even then he would be able to show the abnormals. But if a person bogusly claims that he is a prophet, he uses the magics, he cannot show any abnormality. It means that the confusion about Allah is possible, but confusion about the prophethood is not possible. But the dialectical theologian say that such a confusion was prohibited by Allah. Why? When this confusion is possible about Allah, they say that if a person knows the Prophet, he cannot be confused about Allah. But if he is confused about the prophethood, he cannot identify Allah. Therefore, this clearance about the prophethood is enough for him to identify Allah. This is why a magician cannot show the abnormality if he claims for the prophethood. Quran says, وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ. And Solomon did not commit the infidelity, وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا, but the Satans would commit the infidelity. يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ. This يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ, this sentence is accusative of sentence from kafaru, means they committed the infidelity because they were teaching the people the magic. It means that teaching of magic is infidelity. If a person teaches infidelity for the practice, he is infidel. But according to the Muslim scholars, Imam Ghazali Rahmatullah Alayh writes in his book Ihya al-Ulum, and Imam Shami writes in the preface of Shami Sharif and other Muslim scholars that it is also permissible to learn the magic just to defend the Muslims against the non-Muslims. If the non-Muslims of non-Muslim country, they are magicians, they are trying to trespass in the borders of the Islamic State. So what would be the way to defend Islamic State against the non-Muslims? So therefore they would be able to provide a protection to the Muslims. So knowledge of everything is good one. Knowledge of an evil is not evil. Knowledge of infidelity is not infidelity. Knowledge of paganism is not paganism. For instance, all of the Muslim scholars, they write about the sins, they define the sins, they know about the commission of the crime, they know about the commission of sins, but why they would be rewarded for their practice by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because the knowledge of sin is not sin. The knowledge of crime is not crime. Just lawyers, they are practicing in the court, they know very well about the commission of the crime, rather better than the committer of the crime, rather better than the culprits and the criminal persons. So their knowledge is not believed to be a crime. Knowledge of crime is not a crime. The practice of crime is crime. This is why certain Muslim scholars suggest that the magic should be learned by some of the Muslim scholars who can differentiate between right and wrong, so that they may not be confused in unlawful and lawful. If a common person learns it, he cannot avoid the infidelity or paganism or invalidation. Therefore, the Muslim scholars who are competent Muslim scholars, they can attempt all of the precautions against the infidelity. They are allowed to learn the magic just to protect the Muslims and Muslim states. Quran says, وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ. This voice conjunction and أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ is a coordinate clause, and the principal clause is وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ. This is principal clause, and this is subordinate clause, and this is a conjunction, which means that they followed the teachings of the Satan as well, and they followed the teachings of two angels with the name of Harut and Marut in Babylon. in Babylon means they neglected the revelation of Allah which was made to the prophets, and they followed the teachings of the Satans, and they followed the magic taught by the two angels. The history of these two angels is really a large one. Inshallah, I shall explain it in the next chapter tomorrow evening, inshallah. And now I am going to finish this chapter. I am going to close this one, inshallah, in the next. وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ. There Harut or Marut are two angels which were sent down by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a trial. Sometimes the human being was criticized because human being was a component of 4 elements, and the angel was completely light, and human being was possible to commit many crimes, many sins, many violations of the law, and such things were not possible for the angels. Therefore angels would criticize the behavior, the character, the nature, the tendency and propensity of the human beings. Allah said, if I put one of the things which were put down in the human body, you would commit so many crimes more serious than those of the human being. They said that they said, "Oh Allah, we are ready to cross that trial. We are ready." Then the power of sex and the power of wrath, annoyance, these two powers were put in their bodies, and 2 angels were selected by the selection of the angels. Harut or Marut were very pious, very superior, and very near to Allah, and they said the selection of these 2 persons would be more appropriate because they are a greater scholar than the other angels, and their practice is also very attractive, and they are very scrupulous and very careful angels. Therefore we believe that, we expect them that they would be complying with the conditions we are expecting. Then they were sent down to Babylon. When they came down, there was a woman with the name of Zora. She filed a case against her husband. She wanted the separation from her husband. So since she was very beautiful and she fascinated them, and they were enticed by that woman, they talked to each other that this woman is very beautiful, therefore she should be used for the sex. So they exposed their ideas, they expressed themselves in front of that woman. She said, I shall concede to your proposal, provided that you would drink the wine, alcohol, and prostrate in front of an idol, and then you can commit the infidelity, you can commit adultery with me. Then they agreed. They drank the alcohol and prostrated before an angel. It was mentioned in Tafseer Qadir and many other commentaries on the Holy Quran as well. Though the details are different from each other, but it was mentioned near about all of the commentator in all of the exegesis. So when they committed such a things, and for Ahuma Rajul, Sahib Khazan says that all of a sudden a person happened to see them in this very situation. Fahamalahu wa qatalahu. They attacked on him and they slaughtered him. They killed him. So drinking of the wine, prostration before the idol, and committing the adultery, and committing the killing, the murder. So these 4 things were practiced by them. Here they realized that they are angels, but in spite of the fact they committed the culpable actions, here they realized that they should show the penitence in front of Allah, and Allah said, you are liable to be punished. So let me know whether you are going to accept this punishment in this world or the next world. So they said, we are ready to be punished in this world, and we are not ready to accept this punishment on the judgment day. Inshallah, the result of this tradition and the derivatives of the derivations of this narrative would be explained inshallah in the next chapter. But this tradition was mentioned in all of the commentaries. Inshallah, I shall tell you the result of this report. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا أَنِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ الصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَى رَسُولِ الْكَرِيمِ وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ